Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Austin Talks podcast, or welcome to the Austin Talks podcast if you are new. And today we are going to be talking about a very special topic. I've been wanting to do this podcast for a very long time. The Batman movie. I have a feeling this may take a while because there's a lot of topics that I have missed out on and have not said anything about, and there's a lot to talk about, so I think maybe just diving in would be a better idea. This may be relatively long, so grab a drink, grab a snack, and sit back and enjoy. First topic I would like to talk about is the release date. I mean, to be honest, it's kind of simple. It's coming out December. Oh, thank God it's not. March 4th, 2022. It was originally supposed to come out in October, but due to everyone's favourite virus, it got delayed again. At first it was supposed to come out in, it was supposed to come out January? No, November. Supposed to come out November 2020 originally, because we got the teaser at DC Fandom, the first one of, I believe, and then we were told it's coming out in October, so everyone right, we're going to wait till October, another 11 months. No, in September they said, sorry guys, it's now in March. We're off to a great start with things, so yeah. And I watched the trailer this morning and it said this summer, and I was about to have a cry, and I have a wall right next to me. I was about to shatter my watch. But then it said in cinemas March 4th. I don't know what country they classify summer as March, but hey, I'm not really a multicultural person. But anyway, moving on. Now, the two things I want to talk about is the length of the movie and its whole plot line. The first 3-hour movie that I've seen, I think the only 3-hour movie I've seen, is Avengers Endgame. But I noticed, I saw the length time because it only got released about a month ago. It's going to be about 3 hours if you're including the post-credit scene. Yep, It just comes to show, with the plot, this must be a really important film. I think maybe Matt Reeves just may create his next cinematic universe, like Marvel have done, because this Batman seems like the best Batman we've got. It's such a dark film that looks like it's being based off of the Seven film, and what was the other film? Because there's the Seven Deadly Sins, and then what was it? I don't even remember the director's name. Well, that's useful. But I don't. It was it's based off Seven, and Riddler, who is the main villain of this film, is going to be John Doe, and then Mr. Detective will be obviously Batman. I think maybe James Corden may not have the biggest role in this film, but nonetheless he'll still have a big film. And I like that in the first film they're already introducing the relationship between Batman and Catwoman. That just shows that the relationship between the two is such a powerful thing that they couldn't not add it. And it's so weird how they're changing it up too, with the cosplay for Riddler, and then Penguin's going to be in it too. It's just all very weird. And Carmine Falcone, if there's one thing I love in any Batman series, like say Batwoman and the Batman film, and even Lucifer, all that stuff, it includes crime bosses, and it's just the thing. Gotham, another one, Gotham, that was the one I was thinking of, not Lucifer. But Lucifer still has some of that stuff in. But crime boss things is just so cool and rich. It will evolve the film, and Yeah, it's just I'm really excited for this film. The rating, when I saw the first teaser trailer, I was there like, right, well, I guess it's either going to be a 15 plus or a PG or like an 18. Nope, it's a PG-13 even after saying who are you supposed to be? Then batters and I think's cracked his skull. It says I'm vengeance. I was just like, surely they're not showing that. But then again, in my country, they allowed, what do you call it? Mortal Kombat and the Suicide Squad to be a PG-15. How, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure Mortal Kombat had more blood than in someone's whole body shown on in film. I'm certain of that. But anyway, we're moving off topic. How the ratings PG-13, I don't know. Even PG-15, I would not know. But then again, it maybe show a different rating over here because I know my country's like they're kind of what do you call it? Picky with what their thingies. Their ratings are. I say picky, and then I say about like Suicide Squad and all that stuff. That's funny, but yeah. Next thing I wanted to really talk about this because there's a lot of a balance, not like yes and no's to this topic, and I was gonna get this on later in the podcast, but even though we're 7 minutes in, I thought we might just get it over with now. Barry Keegan, who played Droog in the Eternals film, is said to appear in this film as a detective. Now, Barry Keegan was on a interview and like kind of spoiled something for the film, and said, "Oh I'm playing a far bigger role than you actually think, but it's not going to be portrayed a lot in the next in this film, but it's going to be portrayed in the next film." Then he went, yeah. And there's been a lot of rumors that Barry Keegan is going to be playing the Joker. Now, I think it's not in this. I think he will make a cameo in this film in two ways, but not as like a fourth villain. Yeah, Carmine Falcone, Penguin, Riddler. Yeah, I did get my count right. I wouldn't really call Catwoman a villain. She's more of a person that's trying to live her life. The line in the TV spot where it says, "You got a lot of cats." Yeah. Yeah, I do too, but I don't know what you classify as a lot, whoever you are, but I have two cats, Robbie and Rosie, lovely cats, but anyway, and the one line from the film, or trailer even, I really liked, and it did hit like as a Marvel and DC fan, I can't pick between the two as much as I try, I really can't. They say that she says, Batman says at first, "Don't throw your life away, Selena," and then she goes, "Don't worry, I got 9 of them." That's such a sick line, and imagine being in a conversation saying that in the space of that. It's just, that was incredibly quick even for Selena, but hey. And Matt Reeves, when I was watching DC Fandom a long time ago, this was in October, they showed the snippet of the film and it looked really cool. And it was just what Matt Reeves explained was like it's such a noir. It's not a superhero film, it's more of a detective film, like who's done what, why is this done this, and all that stuff. And I prefer detective stuff to like a superhero film. Don't get me wrong, I love superhero films nonetheless, but a detective film is always good for me. And also, like you say, in a film they do all mysteries, like they keep a mystery alive for the whole film and then they release it for the end. That was good. And it was the same with the recent film Kingsman. Like, you thought this character was the villain, but he really wasn't. But then at the end of the film, you find out who the real villain was. So, yeah, I think this, and I feel in this film, Batman will not win, as in every other film. Oh yeah, the hero's always gonna win. I mean, I say that because I just watched a TV show too, and I said, oh well, this person's gonna win because this is what happens every time. That was not the case. The villain actually won, but it's just a bit of an opening for the next season. So yeah, I'm really going off topic in this podcast. I'm really going off topic. But yeah, I don't think Batman's gonna win because I think it's going to be a left open door for this film. Like, he still hasn't quite made it to the door, and you still have to go through that door being filmed too. And Riddler, I don't know what they see. There's not much from a trailer. They show a lot of Batman stuff, but they barely show any Riddler stuff. And it's the same with Penguin, played by Colin Farrell. I'm gonna be real. How Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin at that size, I do not know, because he looks so like fat-ish. He looks so fat. Yet he's it's Colin Farrell, the guy from Dumbo, is playing Penguin. How? The face doesn't even look the same. I thought Colin Farrell was like, oh wait, am I thinking of someone else? Or like, no, I was thinking of the same guy. He just doesn't look right. He just does not look right. But anyway, I do like Penguin's character because I think they're gonna in this film they're gonna just go. They're not gonna really have him as a major villain. They're gonna have him as the like an undervillain for Carmine Falcone, the same that they did at the beginning of the Gotham series. Like his rise to power, and you'll probably see in the second film, if there is one, I'm certain there will be, that he's going to have more power, more control over everything. And yeah, the Riddler origin story, who we only learnt about when they got the Bat and the Cat trailer. It was there was a photo of the crossed eyes with Bruce Wayne and Thomas Wayne, and him as a kid. It looked like, because it was him with glasses, and then it was later confirmed by the director Matt Reeves. Yeah, that's Edward Nashton. Yeah, that's him. I don't like how they're going for Edward Nashton. I preferred Edward Nygma. I like that better. But he's their own. And then when they said, oh my god, I've got the hiccups. And when it showed the crossed eyes, I thought, and then they circled Martha Wayne's head. And this was all in his Riddler's like basement type thing, where he left like 10 ton of clues. And yeah, it's just really confusing. Why is they're all in the what's it called? The family, but except Martha Wayne. She's still in the family, but not cross-eyed. It's more of a circle. Yeah, a lot of people believe that Edward is like related to Batman, which I think would be no, just no. We're not gonna have a repeat of Joker film. We're not having a repeat of that. But there's more. You're gonna have more mystery to this film than actual action. And at the end of the film, I believe they're going to, with the Joker thing, back to the Joker thing, at the end of the film, they're going to have a preview of him, and like, ha, 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 ha. And end of the trailer, one of them, because there's so many trailers now, I can't keep up. But in one of the trailers, there's an end laugh. It just does not sound like Paul Dano's. I can't say that it sounds like Paul Dano. But when I watched the Eternals film, and then I saw the leak of Barry Keegan playing the Joker, then I heard his laugh in the Eternals, then I heard his laugh in the trailer. It doesn't sound too different. It sounds quite similar. So I believe that maybe, just maybe, not confirmed, that maybe the Joker, or Barry Keegan's Joker, but it will be at the end of the film, not like during the film. And coming back to the cross-eyed thing, now I'm not actually saying cross-eyed. It was like scratched. Their whole like eyes were scratched, as if you had a nail and you scratched the picture. And yeah, but there was a picture beside this cross-eyed picture where it was Bruce Wayne, like, oh, hi everyone. But then there was a long-haired, a massive smile behind him. And everyone, and when I say everyone, I mean everyone that has reviewed Batman, thinks it's the Joker. Now, maybe wondering, Austin, do you agree? And yes, I do. Because this was given a week after Barry Keegan was rumoured to be Joker. It's not exactly a coincidence. I wouldn't even say it was a week. I think it was maybe a bit less than that. As I think that's the Joker. As I say, if it's a Riddler, Penguin / Carmine Falcone film, then I don't think Joker would fit in. I mean, the Joker's the Joker. He fits in anywhere. But this type of film feels more like a in-depth mystery film. So I think it may be just more of a like setup for film 2. And I don't want. I would like Penguin to have more to him, because in the trailer when he goes, I got you. And then Batman just walks out of the fire like, you thought, boy, you did that. And then just batters Penguin. I don't know where he got the scar on his head from. That was kind of weird. But I know Penguin does have somewhat of deformity to him. So I hope that he has a walking stick, or he has his faulty foot. His faulty penguin foot. That would be good. Yeah, I think my favorite thing coming out of this is just the mystery of Riddler. Because Riddler is one of my favorite, not just Batman villains. He's just one of my favorite villains of all time. Is because he's so unpredictable. That's the word I was looking for. I mean, so is Joker, but Riddler is an unpredictable person that is a good guy at times and a bad guy at times. And in the Gotham series, oh my god, there's no way this film can beat the Gotham series, because his final costume was so good, just so good. And yeah, I don't think anything can beat that. That was amazing. But yeah. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, the actual film 2, Frontline. Now, for those who don't know, the person that works with Penguin and the Joker, well, Penguin mostly, but the person that is like partnered up with Penguin a lot is Mr. Freeze. And there was a bit of a leak the other week even, that Mr. Freeze would appear in one of the films, because Matt Reeves said it's not easy to fit one thing into one or two films. So I believe it may be a trilogy, the same as Christopher Nolan did, but he's going to portray it in a better way, because I can't say the Christopher Nolan films came to my interest. But if anything I request from any of these films, it's a Scarecrow. Scarecrow is my favorite villain. Especially in Gotham, he's a sick character. Literally, when I say sick character, I mean he's sick, mentally too. But yeah, it's just so the fact that we're getting 3 of these films and already in one film, it's looking so good. I can't wait for the other 2 films. And yeah, back to like just in Mr. Freeze could appear in the second film. So we have we'll just break this down. Riddler, Penguin, Carmine, Falcone in one film, and then Penguin reprised, Joker and Mr. Freeze, but Joker will be the main villain of that, but Penguin will be like still a main because they're reprising his role. But then in film 3, bring in the whole Rogues Gallery, or my request, DC, is Two-Face and Scarecrow, and bring all of those films together and have them in one film. Would be great. And they don't even have to do 3 films. It's the same with Spider-Man. They're not doing 3 films as we thought. They were doing 6 now. But you could just fit so much in there. And if Matt Reeves really wanted to, he could do his own universe. Because this is setting up to be one of the best Batman films we've ever gotten. And I bet you he could make a good Superman. I'll bet you. He doesn't seem like a bad director where this film's going. But I will say this now, nothing can beat Superman and Lois. Nothing can. Just nothing. Don't even try it. The skyline and the way that Gotham looks in the film, we got a couple glimpses of it in the film. It looked so good. It just looked amazing. It looked like the one from Arkham Knight film. The film game. It looked from the Arkham Knight game. Because it looked so noir, so dead. And this time we didn't have Scarecrow hair at all. Makes like hell on earth, not heaven on earth. I think heaven on earth is like Themyscira. At least I've heard. If you watch the Harley Quinn series, someone describes it as that, but hey, here we are. I don't think... and Matt Reeves could also do what's it called? A Gotham Sirens. Because you could introduce either Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. I don't think they'll introduce Harley Quinn as like the girlfriend of thingy. She may be just like doctor at first, but then say in the third film when Joker is on the loose as well, he goes and he goes and meets Harley Quinn, like not Harleen Quinzel, like Harley Quinn, and then that can leave more options for Gotham Sirens. That would be good. Poison Ivy, she may appear in film 2 with like Penguin and Mr. Freeze. That actually adds up now. I'm so big brain. I'm so smart. Me so smart. Yeah, and I only found this out yesterday. It was exactly yesterday from the day I'm recording this. I found out yesterday that Riddler has his own gang. Yeah. This is kind of a shock for me, for someone that really likes Riddler as a villain, because I feel like he doesn't need a gang. He's a gang of his own. But he's like, I think the best gang in in the place is a Joker's gang or the Rogues Gallery. And why I think Two-Face would be a good appearance in either two. I think maybe 2 would be a better one if you want to take out. instead of Mr. Freeze, you could just put in Two-Face there. Or you could have both of them in there, because I think Poison Ivy would either make a small cameo if they're doing Gotham Sirens. But if they had Two-Face in there, he could be Harvey Dent as the detective or detective attorney in the first film. That would be good. But I only found this out, and he had his own gang. But if you just have a gang within Carmine Falcone, and then you have a gang within Penguin, why do you need more? And if they do have Two-Face, because in the first teaser trailer we had people with face paint, and it was two faces. Coincidence? I don't think so. And the same actor for what's his name? Tim Drake in Titans. The same actor actually appeared in the fight where he snaps his legs or neck, or maybe both. And he appeared there why? Leave me alone. I'm terrified as it is. I don't need you running around here trying to scare my life away. I swear that could be Tim Drake still. I've just come up with a theory on the spot of recording. What if this is a younger version? No, that wouldn't work. I was gonna say, what if this is a younger version of the Batman in Titans? But then again, Tim Drake only appeared in season 12. And I swear Batman does not age in in Titans. He doesn't age. But he looks the same. He could be the younger version of him, and he just appeared there as it was. It could be, maybe not. I doubt it, but it could be. And they cast this early on in production, and it was they cast twins, and in the Batman animated series, Two-Face had two twins as henchmen. So I was just like, well, that's quite a big opener for Batman, because Two-Face is just, even if you make a cameo of every villain in one film, all you need to do is put them in between more films if they do it, because you don't have to make cameos in separate ones, even though that may be a better plan. But you don't have to do that if it's a lot harder to do that. Just make separate cameos in one film. But obviously they've got the film ready. So in how many weeks' time? 1 week. It'll be the 21st of February, and then that's when I upload this. The 21st, and then it'll be the 28th. 28th? Yeah, the 28th of Feb. And then a week after that. What? So the week of the 28th, which will be a Monday, then it's the first, oh no, yeah, okay. I just couldn't count. It's coming out on Friday, March 4th, the Friday, in 2 weeks. Wow, February's short. Yeah, I'm excited to see that film. I'm well excited. I mean, when it came to stuff like No Way Home, I was there in September after Shang-Chi had come out. I was just like, please, can this come out now? I really want it to be out. And of course I had to wait a couple months for that, but here we are. I've now seen the film and now waiting for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because of the day of recording, it got released. The official trailer, we had a teaser, but we got the official trailer. That was sick. That will be in a different podcast, but it's all about Batman now. And what else was I going to talk about? Oh, jeez. if I could edit, it would be like, we'll be right back. Do, 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 do. I could change it if I wanted to, because on the thing that I use to record, there's a I'll be right back scene on my recording software. I could just do that as a joke, but no. Oh yes, Alfred Pennyworth, the Andy Serkis who created Venom, Let There Be Carnage. She's an actor and a director. I didn't know that existed, but hey, here we are. I like his character because he's more of a moral mentor, as he always is in any other Batman storyline. Yeah. Oh my God! Spoiler alert! Bruce's parents die. Oh my God! I'm so sorry. Do we have to explain that in every single film? Like, why? Yeah, I hate it when they have to explain that. But Andy Serkis's Pennyworth, I think, is going to be more of a alongside character with Batman and Selina Kyle, and it's more of a like, you two done, please? Just maybe sort this case out before you guys get together, please. Just please. He's more the guy on the sideline, like, okay, well, this is sufferance. Please, just do it. Yeah, the guy on the sidelines, I feel sorry for Alfred in everything I watch. Like, I always feel sorry for him because he's the one who has to suffer with Bruce's pain. Yeah, and in the second trailer, like the official trailer we got, it was kind of told and hinted that Bruce is not a person that socializes. I guess quarantine hit him hard. But yeah, it's more of like, it's the why it's just exploration. That's the whole, like, probably meaning for this film. It's exploration and trying to find this, know that, and it's just gonna lead to one mystery after another, yada yada yada. As Lucifer did. So yeah. Just there's so much to talk about. I mean, my thumbnail kind of good though. The news is one news is the detail, when it says detail in the title. When I say that, I mean the detail in the actual production thing. I didn't mean details in the news. You read that wrong, everyone. So, and I say this is going to be a long podcast, but I reckon it's not. But the plot of the whole film is just trying to find out why Riddler is trying to focus on Bruce, and the thought has come back to me, everyone. I finally remember what my whole meaning to say was. Right. The first time it was released, there was hinted that there's going to be half a dozen villains going to show up, and they classed Catwoman as a villain, so technically 5. But because I don't class her as a villain, but hey, and what was it? They say 6, and they said They said Riddler, Penguin, Two-Face, Catwoman, and who is it? Mr. Freeze. Yeah, Mr. Freeze. But then there was one more that they didn't announce, and that they're probably more than likely not going to. They've scrapped the idea of Two-Face and what do you call it, Mr. Freeze for future production. but they left the last one a mystery, and I think it's going to be the Court of Owls, and this is what is going to link between Carmine Falcone, Riddler, maybe Penguin, because he links with the Carmine Falcone. It's like trying to build a Madfut 2022 draft. Everything links with everything. Oh, I need to get a better life, please. But I think it's going to be the Court of Owls because it will link everything. The mystery behind Bruce, the mystery behind the connection between Riddler and the link between Riddler and Batman. Batman's striker. Left wing is Riddler, and centre mid is Penguin, and then the second centre mid is Carmine Falcone, and then the next and then right wing is Catwoman. You could make your own team with everything, because right wings don't link with left wings, because Riddler and thingy won't have the Catwoman and Riddler won't have any links. A little bit of a football reference in there. Oh, kill me now. That was an awful joke that I told you in the first podcast that I have awful jokes, and another one bites the dust. But yeah, but the Court of Owls would just link everything. And the Court of Owls is something so big and so broad that I don't think they'll release like the Talon type thing, because that's the assassins of they could actually. The more I think of that, I think they The more you know, the more I say, the more I think. That's a saying that I swear to God no one has said. But if they introduce Talon, it's more of a like assassin type thing, linking with Riddler's gang and Riddler. Thinking on the spot here. Hey. Wow, I'm smart, somewhat. Yeah, coming back to the Court of Owls things, like the Court of Owl is something so big that they can link throughout every film that they do. It's because it's such an underground and underwater thing that you don't think of. That's why it's a perfect segue to introduce them, because there's more thought process, if you know what I mean. Talon. It's like an assassin trying to hunt him down. Yeah, that's a good idea. The one thing that creeps me out from every TV spot and every clip we get, it's how a Riddler kills his victims. In the funeral scene, it's like, where is this man? And then this car comes flying into the court. Court, or is it? Yeah, court. Comes flying into the church. That's the one. Comes flying into the church, and then the guy comes out and says, "Don't shoot! And then it's there's a thing taped to him saying "to the Batman," and then there's a phone connected to him, and as soon as it starts ringing, the guy goes and everyone just screams. But what's funny is the guy in the window, who I'm 99% sure that's Riddler, leaves before that thing gets sent in, knowing like, yeah, this is a bomb. I may want to leave before I become my own. I'm the one. I plan this mission, and die on the mission that I planned. Yeah, I don't think that would be good on record. But yeah, it's just so creepy how he handles all of his like deaths. With, like the way he tries to send thingies, and it's certain that he knows who Batman is. He knows who it is. So if you know where his what do you call it? Where the letter, where who he is, and you know where he lives, why don't you just put it in his mailbox? Why as easy as that? I forgot. He's a killer. A drink always helps someone. I've been talking for 40 minutes straight with no liquid. Powered up with caffeine. That'd be a perfect promotion. Not promotion. That'd be a why am I saying potion? Oi! There's not even a Harry Potter thing coming out. Why am I thinking of potions? I woke up way too early tomorrow. Right, well, guys, this is the end of the podcast. I can't speak anymore. Oh my days, man, can't speak, innit? Right. Next topic is what's the next topic? Come on, brain, think faster. Meanwhile, trying to help with my mouse desk. What was the next topic? Yeah, everyone, I have the memory of a goldfish. If you're wondering how I remembered so much throughout the podcast last week, it was because I had a notebook in front of me. And because I wanted to keep consistent of my podcast timing, I didn't write it down. Fun, big brain. Oh, I guess when it comes to a movie, there's not much you can talk about with not a lot of stuff. If it was, see what I did last week with like a lot of topics in one, that has a lot. But because if I did all the DC films that were released, that would actually be more what do you call it? That would be more time within a podcast, because it's only 40 minutes long. I guess that's the same with an average podcast if you're doing one, but everyone I've seen is like an hour and a half or an hour 20 minutes. I'm not aiming for that, but I need to at least surpass an hour. But if I was talking about the stuff that was just released, like the Black Adam trailer, more stuff for the Flash, and more stuff for Aquaman, which I didn't think was ever going to release. Aquaman, the first film, was not even that great. I thought it was good at first, but the more I watched it, I was just like, well, maybe. What else for the Batman film? Costume, right. For the costume, out of any other costume for Batman that has ever had, this is the best one. The bat suit for this one, and the bat cave. Like, all the things involving Batman in this film is sick. It's just so cool. The Batmobile it's definitely a Batmobile. Yeah, and what's it called? The suit with the cowl and I think this was a bit extreme. The eyelids of his like being like black to cover up his whole face. I think that's a bit extreme. And when he goes to there was a set photo of him going to a cemetery, and I think it was to either brood of his like parents and talk about stuff to them. And yeah, it's such a dark film. And I mean, this is really funny because this was pointed out in the Batwoman series. It said, where are we gonna find a place with no water? This was the poison ivy issue. Yeah, where are we gonna find a place with no water or no wood. It literally rains 350 days a week. 350 days a year. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. Because if you go to the trailer and you see the background for Batman, you would think it rains not 350 days a year, maybe a bit more, like 365. Maybe there's like one day on the February the 29th where it doesn't rain at all. That would be great. One day in the whole every leap year. It's like the World Cup. One day every 4 years where it doesn't rain. Yeah, I wish that was the same where I live. It's more of it rains every 4 years. Because where I live, I might as well live in... what's the hottest place on Earth? I was going to say hell, well, that's a bit dark. But it's very hot. I mean, when it comes to winter times, it's not that hot. It's kind of... it's just kind of cool. I mean, this morning I went for a walk and I was just there like... Yeah, I could definitely say it's somewhat cold. But then next week it's going to go back up. It's going to go skyrocketing back up to the temperature that everyone hates. Yay. Hi. I mean, if you think that's bad, I had to live in this country for 2 summers. And summers when it's usually hot, unless you live in Australia, obviously. It was a nightmare. Australia, it's like summertime in winter and wintertime in summertime. Why? Just why? I don't get that. I just don't. Back to the movie, and it's just the setting looks so dark and gloomy. You would think it's the UK, and I believe they actually shot some of that in the UK. And my grandmother lives, both of them, not both of them, but one of them lives in Scotland, by Glasgow, and they filmed some. Oh, that hurt. They filmed some of Batman there, and it was the cemetery. I think it was the cemetery scene they filmed there, and from where I go to my grandmother's house there, if you walk up the street, you can see the cemetery that was there, which is really cool, I thought. But a lot of films now are being filmed in Glasgow. It's definitely a bigger place to actually do it. Yeah, there's a church there's a church right across from my grandmother's house, and there's a promo picture for Batman and Catwoman, and they both look like they were taken up there. And these were when the promo photos were taken when they were doing the filming in Glasgow. They took all the promo photos for like Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, and Batman. And I was just like, I know what that looks like. Plane, can you please stop? Just go away. Thank you. Sorry, that plane went by. But it looked like from when we exit the airport for Scotland, it looks like the exact same place about the thingies were taken, the promo photos, which I thought was really cool. I think Glasgow's now being more of a place that gets more filming done, and I think 30% of Batman's filming was filmed in Glasgow, and that was near the end or closer to the middle of shooting the film. Because they hadn't shot the whole film after, even when they released a scene from DC Fandom, even in 2021, they weren't finished. They couldn't do that because of, what do you call it? Oh, what's it called? They couldn't, my memory and speaking is awful. They couldn't shoot some of it because some of the actors caught COVID. So yeah, but they had a couple clips in October when it was originally supposed to be released, but then they had about 3 months worth of COVID hit, and they had 3 months worth of footage down the drain due to COVID. So, but we overcome everything. Look at where Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness came out. That was supposed to come out in 2019, which was 3 years after the film. And now it's 3 years after when it was supposed to come out at first. Fun. Just fun. Anyway, yeah, but Batman was a lot worse, because we were told about the film in 2018 when they had released... No, 2017 even, when they released Justice League. It was originally going to be a film with Deathstroke in it, because that was the post-credit scene for Justice League. But then it got taken over by Matt Reeves and went, I want to make a Batman film first. Leave me alone, DCEU. Yeah, and then we got this Batman. And I think it was better we had Riddler and Penguin than just Deathstroke. Personally, I think that was a better option. And Robert Pattinson, I kind of prefer, even in the trailers, to Ben Affleck. Because Ben Affleck just looks like he's gargling marbles. No, sounds like he's gargling marbles. When Robert Pattinson's voice is so deep, it's like... He talks in whisper when he's doing the Batman things, which I think is really cool. Michael Keaton, who's supposed to come back for Morbius and the Flash film, there's a lot of there's so many Batmans that you think would look good, but then they come out and then they're like, well, they're not exactly the greatest. But Robert Pattinson, you've only seen him in a trailer. You need to see him in a film to actually have a proper review. And this Batman film looks like it's going to open about 10,000 doors in the space of 3 hours. That's like 3,000 doors every hour. That's quite a lot of doors. So, yeah, I guess we shall... I think I may just leave it there. Or is there more to talk about what my brain just does not compute? Oh, Funko Pops. As a person that loves Funko Pops, they released the Batman ones, and this was quite a shock for me, because I didn't know they were going to be released. But they were going to release... The same thing happened for No Way Home. They were going to release a black and gold suit, but then they took it down because it was too much of a leak. And it was the Batman symbol above a Joker, the Joker Funko Pop. And this was on Funko.com. And I kid you not, in a space of an hour, it was taken down. I think they were like, Funko, that was just a design. Don't show it to the public. It did have a coming soon below it, so that explains that. But yeah, anything else to talk about? I want to remember it. I would like to remember it, everyone. Don't just, please, I want to remember. Come on, Austin. Try and get the clogs whirling. Get the clogs whirling. Oh, yes. Ha. I am smart now. I think maybe not. Coming back to the Joker thing, it was people thought that what's his name? William Dafoe was going to be playing Joker, and it looked quite promising. It did look a little bit more promising than it seemed. But then Barry Keegan said in an interview, and this was it was William Dafoe versus Barry Keegan. Who's going to play the Joker in this? Then Barry Keegan just went, oh, sorry. I may or may not have just leaked who it is. God damn it, it's me. He's supposed to play a detective in the film, Barry Keegan, but he ended up, he supposedly ended up, I'm 90% certain, ended up playing Joker. So yeah. Just coming back to Joker, it's just they're taking the route of, I don't think people, whoever's seen the Batman Beware the Batman series, where he has long hair, I would prefer if that he had long hair, because then it's portraying a different version of him. And it's the same with Riddler, because they're portraying a very, very different version of Batman, or Riddler even. It's very, very different from what you would realistically think. Because he never had a mask on. I mean, at the beginning of the trailer at first, where he had a question mark in his coffee, I mean, I don't know how you get that kind of froth. I can't speak. I don't know how you get that froth to be that symbol. Whoever your barista was, please tell me, because I would love to know how they do that. Even when I'm trying to make my coffee, I can't even make a shape out of that. I mean, I went to Starbucks in December, and they had a gingerbread man in the froth, and I was there like, how do you do this? I find it impossible. But hey, people have skill. I guess I will not be a coffee maker. I could be the person that just makes the chocolate frappuccino thing. I could also make that. Definitely could be me. Coming back to the Riddler thing, where he goes, well, just coming back to the Riddler thing, where he's like killing all the people and like messages to the Batman. He just does it in such a sick way, and I mean, when I say sick, I mean it as if you're mentally sick. It's so dark. Like, imagine taping someone's face and then saying no more lies. Just, someone died for that? You don't need to do that to send a message. I don't even remember who the guy was. At first, when I saw that, I thought it was going to be the character Hush who was going to play that. But it wasn't the case. Would have been a good idea, but it wasn't. So here we are. And like I've also found Hush to be such an obscure character, and I like his character too. It's different, just different, as everyone says. It's just different, because no one's witnessed it before, so it's just different. How many times can you say different in a sentence, Austin? Well, to Catwoman we go. I remembered something of, like, in the trailer when it witnesses her, like, home life. She lives in an apartment, as she always has in every single TV series. And it's just a dark background. And I think she will link with, like, Carmine Falcone, because, like, the money things, like, not the money. Oh, please no one. Please no one in the comics go the baby or the money. Please don't. I beg you. But, like, she definitely has, like, a dark home life and a dark past, and I think that may link with Carmine Falcone. And the line is, he said, if no one's gonna step up, who will? If we don't step up, no one will. That's a very powerful line. It's a very powerful line. I will admit, because it just shows the control, like, it just shows what Gotham is like, and it's so corrupt. I mean, you think policemen are policemen, then they end up being not nice people. I found that out when I watched the Spiral film. Don't trust anyone, everyone. The Spiral film, don't go and watch, please. Don't. If you're young, don't be me. Don't be me. Yeah, I don't follow after me. It's when it says, for those who have not picked up a magazine from, what's it called? Like from your local supermarket, there should be like a, what do you call it? It's like a stand for a, but it's like a stand. They did the same with Spider-Man, where it was the Empire ones, where it had Spider-Man on the front cover, but then now it's been changed to Batman, and I think this is not only Batman. It's with Riddler, it's with Selina Kyle, and it's with Penguin. Batman's marketing this year it's been really good, really good. They do. I mean, I guess they do the same with any other big film. But it definitely looked really, really cool. And in one of the what's it called? In one of the posters, that's what I was looking for. In one of the posters, it says "Unmask the Truth." I believe they're going to unmask. When I say this, I mean this. I mean this literally. Don't someone think I'm stupid. But they're gonna unmask the version of Riddler and who he really is. It's unmask the truth. Unmask his true meaning, if you know what I mean. It's just learning who he really is. Which is a cool mystery to just think of. And mysteries I really like mysteries, as I said beforehand. And Paul Dano, I can't say he would ever play a good. I can't say I've really even seen any of his good work, but he has his version in the Batman trailer. The best line ever is, "If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?" It's practically saying, from my understanding, and sometimes my understanding is not exactly understanding, if you know what I mean. But it's he can't see the truth behind everything. The cops are corrupt because he's practically killing the government. He's killing policemen. He's killing attorneys. And he's killing, who was the final guy? Bill Skarsgård? No. It's a Skarsgård, I know that much. The guy that came running into the church. What's his name? Cole? Cole. I know his name's Cole. I was looking for the occupation, not the name. But yeah, he's more of a character. He's a murderer, a really sick one. And it's just the riddles are helping Batman to unmask the truth, and it's very interesting. I'll say that much. It's very, very interesting. Right. Well, that is the end of the podcast, everyone. If you've made it this far, good on you, because I have suffered quite a lot from doing this, because my memory is awful and should probably write it down next time. That's why it came so long. I bet you that there's things I forgot to say that I'll say in more podcasts later, saying, "Oh, yeah, I forgot to say that." That's just, well done me. Oh, well. I guess I shall see you all in the next one, which will more than likely be next week. So, everyone, bye all. Bye.